phones on
Okay.
silent.
We have all kinds of technical problems trying to solve these sound issues. I believe it's being launched.
Yeah, it says recording, so I guess we're okay.
Okay, all right. Are you letting everyone else in, Linda?
What do we have a picture of here? Anything? Up here?
Okay, all right, bye-bye.
Oh. Slow down, it's not. Yeah, video, okay, I got it. Put it on.
I can see you on the webcam. Now it is. Now it's got everybody. And somebody's got their computer microphone on. Somebody has their PC or their device microphone on yet.
Linda's probably at the laptop, probably.
As it's feeding back.
Can I move this back?
There's it's dragging a laptop on the floor. Careful, careful.
It's just my laptop, no big.
All right.
I think I will personally pay to have a camera permanently mounted here to
To enhance this, you know.
so that we don't have to do this.
And I'm willing to help out on an extra microphone.
We need to get a techie to come in here and figure it out.
Can you
Right now, I'm only showing you guys
can you
have
mute your
three
PC
systems.
so that it
Yeah.
doesn't feed back?
Which three?
Yeah,
Webcam, Linda Graves, and Dan Keys.
yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
The rest of us are not logged in.
I can leave.
But I mean, no public participation.
Oh, you haven't
Okay.
invited public
I'll-
in now?
Mute me. If I can.
There's nobody in the
Oh. It'd be nice to have an old fashioned meeting where people just sat out there in the audience. You have to know where they're at.
Okay. Yeah.
We gotta go down and get one of them and just.
Oh, God. Somebody has a phone and a computer together. You see this one?
Okay,
Turn it this way and then you can see more. If your volume is too loud, that does it too.
Unmute yours. If someone raises their hand and wants to talk, come outside. And I can let you know.
speakers.
Linda has Linda webcam and Linda's iPad. Sherman Keys. Colby. Mark Colby. Oh, Mark Colby.
Where? Okay, I think we're finally ready. The term Zoom implies speed, but that has no relationship to our
side of the road, getting the sundog. Of course, you can see the sun on the far left-hand side of the screen. So this is a northern facing sundog, or to the north of the sun. And we've got some alto cumulus clouds. One more here, Pamela, beautiful. These alto cumulus clouds represent colder temperatures, stability, and weather energy. And that's exactly what we saw today. Here's a time lapse from Pea Ridge at the high school. We're looking off to the west, due west. You can see the football stadium, and then notice the clouds pretty abundant, and all of a sudden they kind of cleared out. But we're going to see a mix of sun and clouds. But with the clearing sky right now, it's usually going to plummet pretty quick. So be ready for a frosty morning when you wake up tomorrow. Head out to the north for the west. Temperatures are going to be a little cold. Lower 40s at the Springdale Airport. 30s in Fayetteville, and at 6 o'clock, we just had sunset less than an hour ago. Northwesterly winds make it feel a little colder right around mid-50s. Chances do return, especially late week, if this big weather system starts to push eastward. Notice the track, though, a little farther south, so that means the better rain chances will be farther south. And you can see this when we look at the Weather Prediction Center, what they issue is called the QB, Quantitative Precipitation Forecast. I'm just letting you know how much rain they're expecting over the next 7 days. And you'll see on Sunday and Monday, we get the weather system that brings us rain and thunderstorms. So Sunday and Monday is going to be your best chance of rain. River Valley, though, could see rain a little bit earlier. In fact, as early as tomorrow afternoon. Watching the future track of midways in protected valleys, south winds will start picking up and become breezy as that next weather system moves in. Notice a little bit of light rain. We're talking very light, widespread rain, and that will continue into Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Cloud cover clears out to the far north. You got westerly winds that start to develop on Thursday, and you notice that wind switching to the north as another front comes in. So Thursday morning, chance of precipitation. Friday morning, chance of precipitation. Saturday, we get a break from the rain, but then that locks and reloads as the atmosphere is going to bring pretty strong systems, including the potential for thunderstorms, and the River Valley will be a little more instability on that watch. Some thunderstorm activity could be possible, especially severe weather on Monday in the morning hours. Now, this time it could change. Keep watching it. Notice instead of 20%, we're bumping up those totals a little bit. We're bumping up those chances or the probability just because the system's a little closer to the river valley, so it's better rain chances. All right, good to know. We'll keep an eye on those areas these next few days. Thanks, Dan. You're welcome. Alyssa Orange joining us now. The Picture on Nation said, Alyssa.
Dan, your microphone is muted. None of us can hear you.
Yeah, the 2021 schedule is finally here. Lays out for the continue to meet the new homes of the 2021 football class. More on grad transfer.
mattress for the price of a twin on select mattresses. Or get 0% interest for 7 years on top heading brands. Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home. Still hard to find a spot, just easier to park. Still the big move, just more moving. Still swimming, just more utility. Still the
Checking out somebody's TV.
Chevy family of SUVs. Just better. Current and tentative owners with an MIBG credit card can get $72.50 total allowance on most 2020 E-Class models. See your Chevy dealers in the Ozarks. At US Automotive, we understand that your car is more than just a car. It's to school, you to work, and everyone can home safely. So when application life comes on, ignore it. You rely on your car every day, and your car relies on you to keep it ready for the road. US Automotive knows your time is important, and servicing your vehicle should be an all-day affair. Same day auto repair gets you back on the road and back to what's important.
We've been doing these Zoom meetings before.
Ashley Home Store's Mattress Marathon
They've
event.
been doing them for a while.
Limited time only. Get 0% interest on top
I don't know, but I mean, you would think they had the bugs worked out.
Ashley Cash on qualified mattresses. Ashley Home Store. It's home. KY3 First Alert Weather. Sponsored by Aaron Saxon.
There's a bunch of bugs.
KY3 First Alert Weather.
Welcome back, folks. Not a bad day across the Ozark City. We just got down on a gorgeous sunset.
What the hell's going on?
Let's get a look at our weather map. It's been happening while we're at low pressures and starting to blow out here in southeastern Colorado. And I see that pressure gradient tighten up a bit. That's going to bring in kind of a warm south wind. So it's going to bring some cloud cover back in. Eventually, they're getting a few sprinkles.
Excuse me, this is Holly from the ES Independent, and the Zoom volume has been off since the Pledge of Allegiance. There is no volume on Dan Keys.
Ask for someone to give you a high sign physically, a thumbs up, and they hear it now.
All I can see is the council.
Okay.
Can anybody hear? He heard you, Sherman heard you, Dumas,
Okay.
and she hears me, so I guess
Okay.
they're hearing
So
now.
audio is going out.
So I think it's a matter of, that was unmuted, that's why, yeah, I guess I didn't go back over there and unmute it, because I sent the request to the computer. I have to request the computer to unmute yourself. And you did, so we're fine.
Okay.
Thank you. And we apologize that people couldn't hear. We're in a discussion right now, and everything's on the recording, so if anyone needs it. But we're in a discussion right now. The report on the IT workshop. And I'm going through the notes.
It's like they're little.
Council notes.
The temperatures that I'm seeing is long rain, but it's January, right? We live at the Ozarks, so you have to wait 5 minutes.
Who wants to be admitted?
If you have something that's going on next Monday, or you stay up and play this forecast, especially with the first.
Oh, yeah. Quite a few people want to be admitted.
Right now in Springfield, we have a high cloud cover out there, but we're calling it a clear sky. 37 is where we stand. Our winds right now in the west and south. Eventually, those temperatures will drop into the mid upper 20s and low 30s. We're mostly clear sky.
Okay, I think I got all.
And Linda, you may want to mute some people on there? People can hear other people's TVs.
Would it be helpful if you mute yourself if you're listening in on Zoom?
I don't want to turn on video. I'm on.
I have an Al's phone.
Pack your umbrella because rain is on the way. Ozarks Today prepares you. Stories impacting your safety and your wallet.
Up to the minute news of what it means for your family.
And an accurate hour-by-hour forecast that alerts you first. Weekday mornings on KY3. Need all-wheel drive. Probably new co-pilot. Everything. Let's show the road what we've got. Snowy streets.
Should find it.
Icy grip. We're holding tight with your mix. Safety's the name of our game. Stay every all-wheel drive. Right now, lease a new 2021 Camry all-wheel drive for $239 a month for $39 bucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Concerned about your cancer diagnosis? Have unanswered questions or want a second opinion? At Oncology Hematology Associates, patients come first. OHA is...
Hello, somebody's has an unmuted mic somewhere and we've got a TV playing or something. Can you mute out everyone's mics who aren't there?
It's a great organization, and just the deer houses and it's kind of like a home away from home. We were able to be there for probably 95% of his touch times, and I think he went out.
We can't hear anything again. Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Is Friday versus Green. Mizzou Tigers go for win number 9 tonight, hosting South Carolina. 17th ranked Mizzou off to a strong start, leading 20-10 in that last check. And right now on the Ozone website, you can read about Bryce Caleb's conference award
Background noise.
plus a great story on Lockwood's Max Schinelli. He was one of the
You may have to just remove Larry.
If it happens again, I'm removing him. Okay, now we're good. Thank you. Okay. IT support services, again, IT in a box was our best option, but I don't think we can go there. I do have a call in and have talked once to the guy at Megabyte. That I need a call back from him to get a contract or proposal from him. I did find out what HICID is paying, and that's possibly something we could use. And HICID is pretty happy with their services. We talked about computers. Everyone seemed to be in favor of getting an i7 for Wes and an i5 laptop for Dan. And the software that was described in the discussion document. And then we discussed that both of them had used HP machines in the past and possibly would be an alternative to consider I think Ken Mills is still interested in us comparing Dells and HPs.
You know, I think it depends on, the cost.
Speak into the mic if you
I
want.
think it depends on the cost. I think they're probably
They
pretty
should
close.
be equivalent virtually.
I just had better luck with Dell, but HP, when I was working, I bought a lot of HP equipment. And I highly recommend them for laser printing.
We'll price compare them. Okay, printers, everyone thought we should go with the lower cost HP color laser printer that still has fairly good speed for black and white and costs quite a bit less.
That was a printer one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was printer one, but there were two cost points. One was $450 and the other was $600, so it's the $450 one. Yes, Lawrence?
People are wanting to be admitted.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. And with the printers, if the HP color laser printer will scan a legal size document, but you can't do it on the flatbed, you have to do it with the ADF. So I did find that out. Accounting software, I think we agreed that we wanted to purchase CSA software. It may not be in the next month or two because we have no money. Down the road, before Wes has to do a report, I would hope. And the website, we talked about the website. Everyone agreed that we should have a website presence as soon as possible, even if it was something we did ourselves. And it would be very helpful in communicating with the public, I think. I did draft a resolution to get a domain name for the town. And so we'll be going over that resolution shortly. I think we'll use Wix to create at least an initial temporary website. And then later, maybe toward the end of the year, as we work on the budgets for the town and for HICID, we can consider a more robust long-term solution, possibly merging the HICID and the town's website, and that would be a subject for discussion by both the town and HICID. The question was asked whether it was the displayed name or the URL itself that affects the search engine optimization, and it is the URL itself, not what's displayed. And sometimes what's displayed comes up differently depending upon how you search for it. So, data storage, we need probably a few terabytes. And I think we decided that we wanted to use USB connected rather than network connected for security reasons. And we'll also assess backing up to a cloud in addition to some USB connected devices for storage. So that's all we had in that discussion. Do you have any questions, any further comments?
Are you going to put this in one summary document with, leaving out all the options? Just say that
Eventually.
This is what we're gonna do for
that will
internet,
be
this is what we're gonna do
that
for
would be
phone.
the plan after we make further decisions. Maybe you and Wes and me make further decisions. Okay.
All right.
Linda, I might comment, there was discussion at the last meeting about the fact that a change in the domain name might have on where you come up on the internet when somebody goes in to look, and I've read an article, and maybe
I think you forwarded it to me, yes.
that is a concern if a company has been on the internet a long time and changes their domain name, then they go down to the bottom.
Yeah. So, but it is an advantage to keep the same domain name that people know, so. But we'll talk about that more, and, so, we can wait and discuss the resolutions when they come up later.
Okay.
Mr. Blue has his hand.
Oh, Mr. Blue.
I have a report from Holly that she can barely hear anybody. And apparently the microphones in front of the people are not working. This microphone here with the camera may be too far away.
It is.
Holly, can you hear me now?
Your microphones may be working for you, but they're not connected to the Zoom meeting. So it's like we're hearing you from the location of the camera.
Right, she said it's not plugged into the camera, it's not plugged into the system, so you're sounding very, very far away.
Yeah.
So if it pleases you, I can move the camera to whoever's talking.
If you want to do that, great. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be
It'll just
fine.
take me a second to relocate everything.
And then we'll have to move this wire to that device.
Oh, I never could figure out how to get it connected and hear the sound. We can try it.
Do you have one or two ports in here, Linda?
Ports. There's the 3.5 inch plug port on the.
Right,
Right
on
side.
my computer, I have actually two ports, one for a
That's
microphone.
a combo headphone mic, folks.
Okay.
For a headset.
Should we make a motion for a brief recess? Do we need a motion for a brief recess?
Well, we, get the, well, I don't know if we need to read
That may
it.
help the mic situation because it's in the middle of the room now.
And I'll do my best to turn the camera on whoever's speaking.
Yeah, we have a cameraman now. By next meeting, we hope to have a boom so he can zero in right on everybody and.
When we're gonna get some makeup and producer. Maybe a
When are we
choreographer.
gonna get tech support? That's what I wanna know.
Maybe take the mask off so we can talk.
Yeah.
I just got a comment from Dale. I can hear well.
Good for him.
Good. Okay, anything else on IT? I think we're zeroing in on what we want to do. As soon as we have some money, we'll be ready to pull the trigger on it. Let's see, Wes, can you give us a little status on where we are with the treasurer's office?
Yes. After our last meeting, there was a question raised. Would we, if we have to wait a couple of months down the road to get turnback funds, will they be retroactive to December 3rd? And I asked the treasurer's office, and the response that I got was no. There might be a question to that. I don't know. Then I was told that, okay, I contacted GIS and we got population numbers from GIS. We got their estimate, which is, I think it was 2,260. But then they also gave a high estimate and a low estimate. The high estimate, everyone in a block which was divided by the boundary, if everybody in that block was included, I think it ended up 2,370. And if they excluded everybody that was in a divided block, it was substantially lower. But their estimate where they prorated, they would take blocks that were divided by a boundary. And I guess they gave us a spreadsheet, and there are some that when they prorated people, somehow in those blocks, it ended up 2,260. Now, So I provided that to the treasurer's office. The state treasurer said, oh, but they needed the information from the Bureau of Census. Which, when I conveyed that to GIS, they seemed to be somewhat surprised at that. And the treasurer went on, they said, I think that wherever this information comes from the Bureau of Census, all that could be next year before they'd have that. And that we wouldn't get any turnback funds until then. So then I responded, well, are cities receiving turnback funds now, or are they having to wait till the new census comes out? And the response I've got, well, no, they're getting funds now based on the 2010 census. So I think it's probably about that point I went back and I included GIS in on our conversation. So then Wheeler, I think it's the lady's name that GIS called, I talked to her, and then she and the treasurer's office are now corresponding. And I think, Dan, you pointed out the problem that if we had to wait till 2022 for funds, we wouldn't have any money this year. And that got some attention. And so now the treasurer and the GIS are talking to each other, and they said, well, we'll communicate and give us a couple of days and we'll see if there's a workaround to get around this problem. So that's, and I didn't hear anything today. They may not have been working yesterday. I think that was Friday when I got that response.
They seem to be interested in coming up with a workaround. They didn't seem to be, trying to, skirt the issue or anything. I think they clearly understand the predicament. This isn't the kind of thing that happens every day in Arkansas where a new town or city is formed. So,
well, and Ms. Wheeler at the GIS quoted a couple of sections of Arkansas law, and she pointed out that Arkansas law doesn't say that it has to be based on the Bureau of Census numbers. And it does say that the funds are to be distributed to the cities by the 10th day after the end of the month, period. That's what it says. So.
okay. So we're kind of crossing our fingers, waiting for a response, hopefully this week. If, if we don't hear something, obviously we'll continue to follow up with them so that they don't drop the ball. Pat and Wes are kind of both working a little bit on the same project of insurance, which ties into our membership at the municipal league. So I added to the agenda here, if you'll pardon me doing that, to have Pat and maybe Wes give us a little update on what you found about insurance.
Well, as you know, they were pretty busy last week, and then yesterday was MLK, Martin Luther King Day. So I did spend some time on the phone with Lanny Richmond, an attorney, this morning or this afternoon, just before this meeting. So I didn't have a chance to write anything up. Basically, once we join, I think as everybody realizes, once we join the municipal league, then the defense, and that's going to take care of almost all of our legal liability issues. There isn't really any general liability issues. I went over some aspects of Arkansas law, and municipal immunity is pretty strong in Arkansas compared to most other states. We do need an inland marine policy. They're going to send me some information on that. They do have a property program. Of course, we don't need any inland marine until we buy something, but eventually we will need that to protect our computers and
and information storage, et cetera, et cetera. So he's gonna give me some of that information. I was most concerned about officers and directors. Lanny didn't seem to think there was really much exposure, but he was gonna talk to a couple other people around and we're gonna discuss that because that's a concern of mine. You know, with my background, I'm a little paranoid about lawsuits. He said he's gonna put together a memo for us in a couple of days. We're free to contact him. We can't join the municipal league until we get some money, but he's gonna find out exactly what that would cost us. I gave him some estimates of the population because their invoice is gonna be based on that, but he said they'll be happy to give us legal advice until we get there because he knows that's the direction we're going. So that's basically it. We're so much different than most of the cities around that our exposures are not the same. We don't need workers' comp or health or business auto or any of that stuff, but any of the, he said he'd be happy to go over with me anytime we had a possible liability situation come up, like we hired a contractor to do something. I'm really familiar with indemnity agreements. That's kind of what I did for an insurance company for years, but he's an attorney and most liabilities that would come up could be dealt that way rather than insurance. And that's basically it. But I have a full report with Wes for the next meeting, I'm sure.
Okay. Somewhere along the line, we need a clear understanding of the membership dues because Wes was given a number, but Ken and I both think that that's just the basic membership. We're not convinced that that includes the liability blanket.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I talked to him about. He's going to talk to a couple other people there to get us a better idea what that would cost. Not only our dues, and they would invoice us for this fairly informal procedure to get into the Mutual Defense League, but he's going to get all that for us, so we should have it by February. Like I said, we don't have any money yet anyway, so we couldn't do it. But we should have that by next time, unless Wes has anything else to add to that.
Well, I'm gonna talk to Lori, I think it was Lori Shearer was her name this afternoon. And she gave me a number, an estimate of what to do. She said it's $40 plus 35 cents per person. Citizen. And she gave me just an initial estimate, which was like $832.
That does seem a little low, but
and it sounds like, there may be different modules or something that you can purchase, and this might be just the basic dues. And she even said, she offered that those dues might not be due until next year.
okay. Well, Lanny, being an attorney, knows all the legal aspects, but he wasn't really familiar with that. He said he'll get us all that information that we need, and we'll have that. I'll give you a call when I get it. He said he'll send it, he'll try to email it to me in a couple of days.
Okay. We're learning as we go.
Is that not true?
Going.
I think your idea, Dan, of getting the quote, of what the different modules are, I don't know whether Lanny was gonna do that or, but you can get that there's a director down there that, finance, and that's who I talked to. Okay. And it came out around $6,000, but that includes, the lawyer protection and consultation stuff. So
yeah, we'll get that breakdown from them.
Dan?
Yes.
Did I hear at that conference we sort of attended, when Cox was up and running, that the training for the clerk, Wes, was $1,000 or something? Do you have to pay for that training, Wes?
That is probably that program where they have where attend, various events, like there were 6 or 8 at this winter conference. And there are other training sessions throughout the year, and you can become a certified clerk or a certified council member or whatever. And I think, yes, there could have been a fee for that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but maybe what you're talking about is that becoming a certified city clerk, recorder, or a certified council member, or a certified member, mayor. They have all these different things that they offer.
When I talked to that IT in the box guy, he said he couldn't stress enough how important it was for the clerk treasurer to go through this training, to understand how we needed to set everything up. So, yeah, and I thought I heard something like $995 for like 5 days or something. I could be wrong, but anyway.
I think they said they've had all of these various certifications available, and it's just in the last few years that they've added a certification for the clerk recorders and treasurers.
Okay, moving on then to, I didn't list any old business on the agenda, but there's a spot for old business, so I'm gonna bring this up here. In the last meeting, there was some discussion about needing to appoint a vice mayor if, in case I'm not here. And I did a little research on that, and Arkansas statute 1445-107, presiding officer of the council, and this is under the clerk. It says a mayor, or in case of his or her absence, the recorder treasurer shall preside at all meetings of the town council. The recorder treasurer shall also be and act as clerk of the town. And it goes on to explain the duties of the clerk. And then in section B, it says, in the absence of the mayor and recorder treasurer from any meeting of the council shall have the power to appoint any 2 of their number to perform the duties of mayor and recorder treasurer for the time being. So I don't believe that I need to appoint a vice mayor, because it clearly, I think, states that if I'm not here, Wes runs the meeting. If neither Wes nor I are here, and you guys get together and appoint somebody to run the meeting and appoint somebody to take the minutes.
And that's why in statutes, it says the mayor can vote. So if one of us was taking the role of mayor in that meeting, we would be able to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so just to clarify that. Let's see, then going on to new business. Lynn, the first one on the list here is something you brought up.
Yes, there's a procedural issue that I think we need to address. I follow the Municipal League's magazine articles published in City and Town, and the December 2020 issue gives us guidance for a reminder to all city councils regarding the first council meeting of 2021. So I believe that it's something we need to take care of. It cites the statute ACA 1443-501. And that statute in section A, paragraph 1, the members of a governing body elected for each city or town shall annually in January assemble and organize the governing body. That's the instruction that we need to do it on an annual basis. And then in section 2, paragraph B(I), it says the governing body shall judge the election returns and the qualifications of its own members. So I don't know where that language really comes from, and we've done some investigation, don't find a lot of guidance on it, but it probably comes and modeled after the federal government judging the votes from the Electoral College. But nonetheless, I think we have a duty here. So I can make these factual statements that our recorder treasurer, Wes Stilley, has received the certification of election for each official from the County Election Commission. And on the fact that they have all been sworn into office and not having heard any objections to their qualifications, those facts would constitute an affirmative judgment on the election returns. Are there any corrections or understanding of my facts from anyone?
No, sounds good.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion then. I so move that the election held November 3, 2020 of the town of Holiday Island officials of mayor, recorder treasurer, and 5 council members be judged by this council as accepted.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. We have been judged.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn.
Ourselves.
All right, resolution 2021-011, domain name and email service.
Does anybody need a copy of it? You got it?
Wes, you want to read the resolution?
This is
It's a resolution authorizing the town of Holiday Island to acquire a unique domain.
Number 11.
That's what I thought. I'm sure I got it. I put this together.
Pass this down. That's the one you signed.
Okay, resolution 2021-011. A resolution authorizing the town of Holiday Island to acquire a unique domain name. Whereas the town of Holiday Island has been recently incorporated and will need a domain name in order to establish its unique presence on the internet and email identity through the specific set of email addresses established for the business affairs of the town. And whereas whether or not this domain name is utilized for a specific website established for the town, it will benefit the town to have the town's email addresses reflect a unique domain name and identify the email as originating from the town government. And whereas the acquisition of a domain name identifying the town's affairs is required immediately for establishment of town's email addresses. And whereas the domain name proposed for the town is cityofholidayisland.com, and whereas the cost of establishing and maintaining the domain name such as proposed above is typically less than $20 per year, and whereas the acquisition of the domain name immediately would forever and permanently reserve that name for the town and future cities' use, not being resolved by the town council of Holiday Island that the mayor is authorized to purchase a domain name for the town as proposed above. Passed and approved by the town council of Holiday Island, Arkansas on this date of 1/19/2021.
Is there, can I have a motion to place this on the floor for consideration?
I so move.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No, not opposed?
You might want to say for the record who did the motion and who seconded it, just because
Okay.
I know Barb had problems last time.
All right. Who did?
Linda and I.
Linda
I
made the
did.
motion and then seconded it. All right, is there any discussion on this resolution?
Mr. Mayor, I guess I'm a little confused. We talked about our domain of possibly being a .gov or a .us. This says .com.
That, I threw that in there just as what we could have. If you want to change it, that we can do that in the discussion.
Well, I mean, if it's just a placeholder for what it might be,
I thought we could amend it during our discussion if we choose to amend it.
Is there a preference?
Well, it was my opinion, I thought we kind of had a preference at the workshop last week for security and just a little bit of prestige. I don't know, prestige is not the right word, but I thought we were kind of leaning towards a .gov or a .us.
There wasn't a clear preference in the discussion. It was brought up that it did have some advantages, but that .com also had advantages because it's used everywhere and by a whole lot of other cities and towns. So we could go either way. .com costs less than $20 a year, costs virtually nothing to set it up. .gov costs $400 a year, and every year thereafter $400.
Yeah, I thought we kind of ruled out .gov because I didn't really see very many towns, at least our size, using the .gov. .us, but it doesn't make any difference if it's whatever gets the job done for the least amount of money.
As Jerry said, .gov does have the credibility of being a real government, whereas .com doesn't necessarily, but I think if you're saying you're the city of Holiday Island.com, you're gonna, with most people, you will have that same level of credibility.
It's recognizable as being the city website.
And I really, when I did some research this past week, I really couldn't find, other than the fact that you have to apply for it through the government and they have to agree that you are a real city government before you get it. There's no other real security thing about it.
But
it does require you to have SSL security on your website, but we would do that on whatever website we created anyway.
At this point, all we're really gambling is $20, right? And we can always change it later on if we find that there's an advantage.
You definitely could, and by securing the city of Holiday Island right away, you prevent anyone else from getting it.
Yeah, and that's the problem in this day and age, that, people go out there and gobble up domain names just so that they can turn them around and sell it back to you for a fortune. So, I'm good with the city of Holiday Island.com, as a placeholder.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if you decided to do a .gov, I would get the city of holidayisland.com anyway, just to protect it. So.
Rebecca Sherman had a comment, but I don't, it went away before I got to read it.
It says,
Can you choose your chat?
anybody see what they're saying out there?
Okay, she said, why are you not using the state? Once you buy it, forever pay, or someone else can buy it.
No, the .gov address is basically reserved for us until we apply for it. That can't be taken by any other municipality.
That was part of the discussion last week, the reason to do that.
Mr. Mayor, I would think based on the projected cost, I would think we could go ahead and go with .com until we find that we have a real need for that kind of venue.
All right, are we ready for a vote?
Well, I think maybe Rebecca was saying that the convention might be that you have to stick the two-letter state after the name of the city. In some convention, they force on you, because she said Fayetteville had Fayetteville AR.
Well, yeah, that's true, because there's a Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
There's Fayetteville all over the place. I don't know that there's that many Holiday Islands, but
There's Holiday Island in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, I looked it up on the
searching for Holiday Island at one point in time. That's one.
Any other discussion on the domain name?
We're gonna add the AR to it.
We don't need it on the .com, that's only on the .gov.
Better not to have it, I think. but That complicates it for people.
I don't know.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
question for Linda. I know it's ahead in their agenda, but if we go to an email service and we want our emails associated with our address, it might be that my email address will be lindumas.cityofholidayisland or @cityofholidayisland. How would that look?
At cityofholidayisland.com.
Okay, all right.
That's how that would look. And if we want to do emails right away, that's why we need a domain name right away.
Right, okay.
I guess the open question then is, do we want to add AR onto City of Holiday Island?
We need it for any.
Lawrence, you have some experience. Doesn't the district use .ar? Don't they have it?
No, we do not. We just use .us.
I mean, in the name though, Holiday.
holidayisland.us.
But I thought, okay. Okay. Fine.
I believe there is a holidayislandar.com without a city that maybe is owned by HIDC maybe or something. I'm not positive, but I think there is one out there.
If you search on Holiday Island, you get a bunch of them. I mean,
But I prefer we go with just cityofholidayisland.com personally.
.us.
For all that is, City of
There is
Holiday
not.
Island.
There is not. I tried it.
Well, let's just go with this. All right?
Are you ready for the motion to approve?
Yes.
I'll move that we approve the resolution 2021-011 by West.
I'll second.
All right, Linda made a motion to approve the resolution. Pat seconded it. Any further discussion? Wes, I think this requires a roll call vote.
Oh my gosh, yes. You had to listen to that all the time. I was killing myself.
Get out of here.
Did I get that?
Councilmember Dumas.
Aye.
Oh, no, I didn't.
No, what are you looking for?
Aye.
I was looking for the.
Councilmember Graves.
Aye.
Councilmember Mills.
Aye.
Councilmember Benton.
Nay.
Linda,
Yes.
you have several people unmuted and it's causing background noise.
Thank you.
Is that everybody?
Yes.
4 yes.
Four yes, 1 no.
The motion carries. All right, moving on to the next resolution. This one is being proposed by Linda also. Resolution number 2021-012, a resolution authorizing the town of Holiday Island to establish a contract with an email provider. Do I have a motion to place this on the floor for discussion?
Make a motion to place it on the floor.
Second.
Ken made the motion, Lynn seconded it. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Wes, would you read the resolution?
Yes. Resolution number 2021-012. A resolution authorizing the town of Holiday Island officials and any employees or individuals doing specific work on behalf of the municipality. And whereas the use of personal addresses and multiple email systems employed for personal email by these individuals would cause commingling of their business and personal email, as well as allow potential permanent deletion of municipal business emails. And whereas the use of new and separate email addresses for these individuals under a new domain name created specifically for the municipality would clearly identify the email addresses as originating from the municipality and the contents as dealing with the business of the municipality. And whereas the use of new and separate email addresses would enable a more efficient and accurate means for search and retrieval of emails dealing with specific municipal business matters. And whereas the municipality will require the ability to permanently preserve all incoming and outgoing emails to or from town officials or dealing with the business of the municipality, a robust ability to search and retrieve emails based on specific criteria in order to address certain FOIA Freedom of Information Act requests from the public on a timely basis, and the ability to locally administer the assignment and relation of email addresses under the domain name of the municipality.